Good afternoon, last. We are back again, ladies and gentlemen, in day 3 of our podcast for today of the Christmas special season 2 with the epic guests, including developers and staff of different RP servers and different games. Hello, I am back here, the MTS, aka your old racy or Ripre El Mao. Okay, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for today. Of course, we always have special guests, but this time, we don't have that guest I am expecting to, because the guest that we have today is just only the representation of him. So he was not available because of some issues with things such as exam, schools, and other stuffs. But I've now recruited or I've invited over to our talk for this day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the server supervisor of OCDIDRP, Zonda. Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello. So first introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, my name is Rhonda from the Philippines, and I might be known as a pro driver in OCDIDRP. If you're part of it, just probably give the link, I think. But yeah, that is for me on my introducing part.
Alright, thank you. Alright, so as you've heard, so he is the server supervisor, if I'm correct? Oh,
Yes,
yes. Alright, so speaking of the server supervisor of OCD IDRP, let's now talk about that's related to that, because the first question is really related of how or the ups and downs as your journey here in the staff team. So in short, what are your ups and downs in your staff journey?
and downs in my staff journey is like the staff causing each other's drama and seeing them fight all day long. And my ups is like are like promoting me and hosting a lot of fun sessions and more special RPs with my developer friends and staff friends.
Right. Follow-up questions, no? Okay, so you have mentioned that your ups are like promoting yourself to a higher position. Can you tell us the history how you became staff of this particular RP server?
Became staff when like the application just got released like after a really long time of waiting. I thought I would just be a civilian, like a normal civilian, right? That's
Yes.
why. And then I answered the staff application, and then few days later or weeks, I passed. And then that's how I got very surprised on how I became a staff member.
Ah, so you mean you got shocked with how you became staff without knowing?
Yes,
Yes. All
yes.
right. So another follow-up question. So with that answer, you got shocked. What was your first reaction when you were hosting the first ever session in your entire life? When you like
Uh,
hosted the first session
yeah.
in the RP server, what was like your
When
reaction?
my first reaction when I hosted my first ever session was like very excited to work for the team and make civilians happier. So and then more fun in my sessions in the server.
Nice. All right. So you have now heard the history, how was your reaction, the first ever session, which also my reaction when I was also the when I became the staff with no application. So the first ever. So I have also a lot of ups and downs. The first ever was June or May of the last week, when I got accidentally got the role of the staff in training, and I don't want to mention names, okay? Only some, but not this person. But he accidentally ranked me to staffing training, and he asked me and my buddy, okay, my buddy, if I mean we requested to like to stay in this position because it is what our dream is to be. And OC the IDRP was still growing at the time with less than 600 members. I repeat, less than 600 members. So not a lot of OGs you're expecting. Okay, not a lot of the staff. Example, we have Kevin. We don't have him. He just arrived. I think. Do we have an history, Sir Zonda, of Kevin on how he got inside?
Mm. His history that when he got inside the staff team was kind of horrible and good in the same time because
No,
he's
no, no.
been through like.
How he like got in the RP servers? There, do you know any of his history?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Um, he came in the RP server like a normal civilian, and then suddenly he just randomly became a staff for like after 1 day of being civilian there.
Yes, agree. I honestly agree with you. Alright, so let's continue. So yeah, like Kevin, we don't have Zed, like Zed. He's by the way, guys. Please, yo, clap your hands for Zonda, also an OG member of OCBIDRP, very
Yes.
OG since May. Alright, but Zed, we will talk about more of Zed later on in this podcast. And we have also here lots like Nina. We have also have we don't had let's say we Sav and a lot of more people. Okay, so what I remember the OG, we have a former staff. He got demoted. Leo, we have Kenji, one of the most OG, Ken's best friend, and of course the founder, one and only Ken. And me, Zonda, and we have June. Okay, so I'll not tell you guys when June will be. Okay, it's a secret. So stay tuned, people. Okay, make sure to subscribe in my channel right now. Click that bell to get notified, especially with our very long podcast. All right. So now let's now go, guys, with the former event, which is the questions. Okay, because this one was like your journeys, but now this is the questions we're gonna ask to our dear Zonda. So for this one, okay. So our first formal question is how you exactly became staff supervisor with the challenges. Okay, let's add a twist with this question. So how you became staff supervisor with the challenges that has brought to you in your journey.
I became staff supervisor when like I handled a lot of conversations of drama and more, and I wanted to do more work for Zed and Ken and Blood so I can make the server go boom because I want the server to really grow fast and enjoyable for me and the other staff members
Yes.
and help on Google Docs like with Zed.
Yes. Right. So follow up question. Okay. Oh, no. Sorry. Apologize. So with this staff supervisor with the journey of Zed, for behalf of Zed, we apologize first to our viewers that we haven't with Zed with because of his unavailability in the podcast season, the podcast week. So we apologize. But on behalf of Zed, him, Zonda, so he knows a lot than me because you know I got lots of challenges, especially me. You know, I got banned, etc. So there are lots of challenges with me, but Zonda knows more, deeper of the life of Zed. So, as I promised people, we will now officially know the reason on how did Zed became this successful right now. Goes on that. Again, the
Okay,
question
how did that
is
become?
again the question is how did Zed become this successful right now in his position?
How did Zed become successful?
Yes.
Zed become successful today because he helped a lot on emergency services and hired more greater staff now and more things that we never heard. He also became AD because he helps in ES, helps code up on applications and do more on Google Docs for staff to read like the policies and more.
So what you mean? Oh wait. So, all right. So he mentioned what was that again? He mentioned Google Docs. He mentioned code. He mentioned the emergency services. And he also mentioned hiring more staff. Now, we will break, ladies and gentlemen, this into a lot of following questions because we are all curious on how Zen exactly became this successful. So, let's go first with the first word, Google Docs. Now, how that how did it happen to had a Google Docs? Okay, so like how did with this part he was just like a staff in training. I I was higher than him. Remember, Zonda, he knows it, right, Zonda? I was during the time I was higher than him. I was like in senior staff. Sorry if you can correct me, but
Yes.
I'm yes, senior staff. He was actually just a staff in training. And that time was also the fight. So, with my exit from the position, what happened to him? Especially the Google Docs. How did he created, the Google Docs? Because we cannot believe how successful and how he is right now. Because you can see, ladies and gentlemen, those who are in this RP server, you can see him. He is now the leader compared to the last part or to the last few times, like August, September, August, September. He was not the one. He was just a civilian, and Maurice was the one. But right now he is in the rise. So to make this question easier, how, why did he make the Google Docs, and how?
He made the Google Docs because he wanted the IRP in this hub and PMI to see the reality on how to become that specific job, and also how he did the Google Docs
Yeah, in
is
also
like
in for the staff team. Yes, yeah, I know that that IOP needs a handbook. But what about for the staff? Because when I was still an old staff, there was no handbook, right? There's no like
yeah,
handbook, lesser
no
questions.
handbook, no
Yes, there's
signing,
no
you cannot
yeah.
sign.
But how that happened? Okay, because I didn't know, and no one knows what happened to the staff, to the to the culture or in the atmosphere of the staff team. Can you explain how he made his way in creating an handbook and a lot of new programs for the staff team?
I think he found a way to make the handbook and more Google Docs because he probably saw like other things on the staff team of different servers and probably wanted to help us do more things like signing a note, signing a book, a handbook, and etc. So he can find the things that the other staff teams can do and other things.
Okay, so he was inspired from an RP server.
Yeah.
Now let's continue now with the Google Docs because for myself I cannot believe how he has had done for the server. He has contributed to a lot of things. But yeah, we will have a short break, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, please enjoy the short commercial break because we will have more questions later on. All right, hello everybody. Welcome. Also, I hope. Okay, so right now, as I said, he was very successful, right? So let's recap everything. He was successful, and etc. Now with the overall, what was he was delivering? Okay, so from the Google Docs, so in the Google Docs, how, why, or did he really love what is he doing? Do you think, huh? Do you think he loves what is he doing with this position right now?
I mean, like, yes, he loves his position right now on making the ducks
Yeah.
and making the. mm, I'm losing words. I don't know really a lot about him on the
Yeah,
Google
it's okay, it's okay. We because we just really want information now. Pero what will be your final message to our civilians now that you have already stepped into this particular podcast? No, your message to our civilians. Okay.
My message to OCDIDRP civilians is to keep going for your dreams of being staff and roleplay well like II Mark X because he's good
Wait, what?
as a roleplayer right now.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'd suggest you guys to act like him because it's very good and professional. I'd also like to say keep roleplaying well, don't combat log, and run from staff because you can get a strike or warning. And please be respectful to all citizens of OCDID RP.
All right. So, all right. Thank you for that wonderful message, no. So you have heard because I'm also a staff, no, guys. I always mention that I am staff of OCDRP. Pero, but yeah, that we will be ending our podcast for this day. But please make sure to wait for day 4 of our podcast. So Zonda, your personal
Mm.
message to our viewers.
My personal message to the
Yes.
viewers
Yes, yes, to the
is
viewers.
to keep
Unsubscribe.
up
No,
your
no, no, no,
dreams and
no.
despair.
Yes. Right. So thank everyone for joining and see ya tomorrow. Bye.
Right.
Bye.